Welcome guys to Ash Ellen Talks. Today we are in a special episode from Dubai. I'm Ash. If you guys know me, you are already hearing me. If not, you can find me in the description below. Today we're having a very important guest who has helped over 350 businesses to build their audiences and groups on Facebook, resulting in consistent and predictable 5 to 7 figures months with smaller audiences of highly qualified leads. She has been a featured speaker for Taylor Welch, Rich Saffron, John Madison, and business coaching institutes, and etc. And the list is going on. She's a mother and an entrepreneur, and she's here to lead us throughout the way towards the Facebook and the Instagram, and how you're building the groups, and how the Facebook works actually, and how the social medias work, and how you can find the leads, and how the people can reach you. And the biggest problem we have seen here actually, a lot of people are trying Facebook and the social medias, but the results they are finding is not that much as expected. So we're having a very important guest here, Cierra Lueck. Welcome to Ash Ellen Talks.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm excited to be here, all the way in Dubai.
Wow. Cierra, first of all, I would like to ask a question regarding the topic. What is the Facebook and why you emphasize more on the groups?
So Facebook is the largest social media platform out there. The closest social media platforms to Facebook are Instagram and YouTube, and then TikTok is right on the tail of Instagram and YouTube. Instagram and YouTube have about 1.9 billion monthly active users, and Facebook has 2.9 billion. So they have 1 more billion users. Billion with a B, not million with an M, but billion with a B users than any other platform out there. Now, granted, they are making some changes, so they are a little bit glitchy right now, but even with all the glitches, there's just still so much possibility to connect with more people on the Facebook platform. And out of all of the platforms out there, they're the only one that has actually executed communities in a really powerful way. So anyone from anywhere around the world can start a community about any topic that they want to. And then you can grow that community rapidly with just some simple content and some simple ideas, and then be able to monetize it. And there's multiple ways to monetize groups, but communities are the best way to actually build trust with an audience to get them to the point where they are willing to buy things from you.
Wow. And Sierra, when it's come to the Facebook and the groups, I would like to ask one more question regarding this. This affiliate marketing and the commission rate. A lot of people are targeting like a 1 million, 6 figures, 7 figures in a month, but the commission rate is very low comparatively. So at one point, they are lack in motivation and finding some path in some out of the range of Facebook and the social medias, and how this affiliate marketing work, and what will motivate these people, and how the target should be. Is it should be like 10,000 or 100K, or how it should be, and where to build this one, from where we have to start it?
Okay, so with affiliate marketing is so we also call it network marketing. Network marketing could be that you're actually affiliated with something, or it could be that you have a product from somewhere else. I have a few affiliate things that I offer to my clients, but that's not my number one way to monetize. It does, like, it will cover some cost, but I wouldn't expect that to be very high unless you have a very large skill set in either sales or marketing. If you have a background in either sales or marketing, you will probably do really well in network marketing, affiliate marketing. And in affiliate marketing and network marketing, the idea behind those is that you have to be really good at recruiting other people. And so personally, I'd rather recruit people to build my own business, and I'd rather recruit people to build my own offers and build and sell and keep all of the profits, as opposed to getting a small commission off of something. But if somebody really does want to start with affiliate marketing or network marketing, I would say that the best thing that you can do is to have really high volume on the front end. And with a group, what I would suggest people do is go with a topic that is like easy, generic. There's already a group that has like 100,000 members in it. People already love to talk about it, and start building your group off of that. And then just start sharing like viral style content within the group. That would be the easiest way if you really want to grow a large audience quickly, because you're going to need a large audience. You're going to need a lot of customers to be able to make good profits in affiliate marketing.
Wow. And Sarah, I have some lyrics to read. Former rain and later rain in the same month. Actually, what it mean?
Oh, okay. Were you, what, did you Google me? Like, how did you find that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I have did some research about you, and I
Okay.
get to know finally. Yeah, you are a good singer. Actually, more than a singer, you are a good lyric writer, and it's actually a very good and very meaningful. So I just need to know what's the meaning of that, and is it linked with some affiliate marketing?
It's not. So I don't, like I said, I don't do a lot of affiliate marketing. I do a lot of consulting in my own business, and my clients have primarily been coaches, consultants, course creators, speakers, authors, coaches, business owners. I've worked with 5 8-figure companies at this point. I'm still working, like I have one big 8-figure company that I'm working with right now that I'm actually helping out with their sales team, and I'm also helping out with the workflows and sequences for their funnels and stuff. But anyways, that aside, that song has nothing to do necessarily with that. It's more about, because there's two different sides to any journey that we have in life. There's the outward journey, which is all of the stuff that we see around us. It's all of the
Mm,
stuff that we use our 5 senses to experience, smell,
true.
taste, touch, sight, sound, all of that. So we have our outward experience in life, and then we have our inward experience, which is totally different from anybody else's. And so that
Mm,
inward experience could be, somebody might call that their spiritual journey. They might call it like meditation. They might talk about God, or they might talk about source. However you are experiencing that inward journey, that song is actually about the inward side of the journey. Like they might call it mindset.
wow.
And I actually pull those lyrics from scripture. There's a scripture in biblical text that talks about the former rain and the latter rain in the same month, because the people in that story at the time were in a place of drought where they
Mm-hmm.
they had no harvest. They
Mm-hmm.
were like, people were dying because they were ill, they were sick, they were starving. And
Mm-hmm.
in the midst of all of that, there was a promise that was brought to them that they would have so much rain that they would
Mm-hmm.
not only have all the rain that they missed out on in the past, but they would also have all the rain that they would possibly need for the future. And they would get it all at the same time within the same month. And so it's
Wow.
like this promise of not only abundance, but overflow. And so the principle behind those lyrics, the former rain and latter rain in the same month, and hearing the sound of the abundance of rain, it represents not only abundance, but also overflow.
Wow. Wow. It's really it's very, it's giving us some kind of motivation, not towards the marketing and all. It's a spiritually something, it's a kind of a peaceful thing, and I'm seeing in a spiritual way in somehow. Anyway, when it's come to the our topic, Sarah, a lot of my listeners actually they are entrepreneurs and the investors and CEOs and all. But I think, and I'm a little bit afraid that they have no idea actually regarding the Facebook group and all. So I have seen some Facebook groups and all, like 1 million members are there, sometimes 100,000 members. And some people are there, they have a little bit of members, like 1,000 to 1,500, but they're doing the business very well on that group. So what is the secret of this group? It's how the success is measured on a group based on the number of members or the transaction, how the monetary things happen, and what's actually happening in these Facebook groups.
So I would say that there's essentially two different kinds of groups. So there's groups that are potent, and potent just means like when something is very, very aromatic. So it's very, very full of flavor, versus something that's a little more bland. And the little more bland, it's like you'll have high volume. So like the million groups are the ones that are more bland, where you have a lot of volume of members, you have a lot of people inside of there. But when it comes to sales, you're probably not going to sell as much high ticket. And when you look at the like quantity versus closing percentage, how many of those people actually transition into sales, you're going to see that that number is really, really low. It's a very low percentage. You might see 1% in a million member group. And out of that 1%, they're probably purchasing something super low ticket, as opposed to in those more potent groups where you have maybe 1,000, maybe 2,500, like you said, you have less members. In fact, one of my clients, he now, I think he was in the Inc. 500 in America, and he also has, he had at the time, he had a 500 member group. He was consistently doing about 100K US dollars collected every single month from selling via ads. Like he was getting all of his clients via ads. And there was one month that we were working together. We had just built up this group. It was less than 500 members, and all of his ads got shut down. And
Wow.
even with all of his ads shut down, that month he actually collected 178,000.
Wow.
So he increased what he was able to collect because the group was so well nurtured, because the group was so potent, and it was less than 500 people.
Wow.
Now, if you go
Fantastic.
into a
Yeah.
million member group, you're probably not going to pull that same amount of revenue in a month from a million member group because it's so diluted.
Yes.
It's like what they talk about when they talk about like shark infested waters or whatever, when they talk about like a red ocean versus a blue ocean. A blue ocean means that there's not a lot of blood in the water. And
Yes.
a red ocean means that there's lots and lots of people everywhere. Like, so there's already lots of competition in that
Yeah.
million member group. There's so much competition, and it's not competition necessarily in terms of sales, it's
Mm.
competition in terms of attention. Attention is the currency on social media and on the internet itself. Attention is the currency, not necessarily dollars. Because if you're the person who has the most attention, you are probably the one who's also making the most money.
Wow. I'm seeing group as a share market right now when you're saying about the attention, because right now we haven't seen some examples that Tesla group have announced that they're gonna implement some kind of autopilot stuff or some automatic vehicle stuff in the future in 2025 first quarter. So the share prices went up. So it's kind of making an impression in the public. So people believe and keep investing, and the price is going up. So yeah, group also same in a way. I'm seeing like they
Yeah,
should.
groups make people feel like they're a part of something bigger than themselves. It makes people feel like they're in something that's kind of intimate and exclusive. And so they feel like they're getting insider knowledge when they're getting it from the group versus on a platform that everybody, the public, has access to.
Mhm. And Sierra, I have to ask because you are in United States right now. The bill has passed and it was signed, the TikTok ban, right? So what do you think about these creators who have like 20 millions and 10 millions or at least 500K followers in TikTok, and they have built that business for like a long way, and they have suffered a lot to become that part and the position. So what do you think about these creators? What are the alternative available in United States for these people? Will they use VPN, or they will go ahead with the Facebook, or what will happen in the future? What do you think about that kind of creators and entrepreneurs?
So if TikTok gets banned, if they choose not to sell, if for whatever reason that happens, I honestly, I think those creators are going to be fine, because all of the skill sets that they use to get to where they're at now on TikTok, you can use the exact same skills on any other platform. Like it's not necessarily the exact same things that go viral in the same way. Like there's different things, each platform's algorithm weights things a little bit differently, but the things that go viral, they go viral for a very specific reason. And so all of the content that they've been creating there, they can literally just take that to any platform. And pretty much every platform has shorts or reels now available on their platform. So I think they'll be fine. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal for them. Like, yeah, would it suck because, instantly it's like your whole business goes away. But I mean, honestly, it'll be a great learning lesson for them, because on any social media platform, we don't actually give that.
Yeah.
It's like I've seen years business owners who have gotten kicked off of Facebook because they posted about something they shouldn't have posted about, or they said something very controversial at a time when it wasn't okay to say that, and they got
Yeah.
kicked off of the platform. Or they used the platform against the community standards and they got kicked off for whatever reason. They got kicked off. They lost family photos. They lost all these photos because that was the only place they were keeping their family photos. You got to think about that. That's not very wise, because you
True.
don't own the internet.
Yeah.
even your website you don't own. Like your website platform could decide to shut down at some point, and all of the assets that you have built on a website, if you
Yeah.
don't have them anywhere else, you just lose it. And
Yeah.
so that can happen with the CRM platform too. I actually recently had one of my CRM platforms, which is just the customer service management stuff, where I have all of my customer data inside of it. I woke up one day, went to go log in. It had been about a week or so since I'd logged in last. I wasn't really thinking about it. I went to go log in. My account was gone. They don't even know what happened. And
No.
but thankfully they were able to recover it. But I just barely got all of my access back to everything because they restored my account, but then I still didn't have usability access. And so I still couldn't use it. I could access data, but I couldn't like add new people to it. So, I mean, it took about a month, but for a month, my CRM had kind of disappeared. And so at any point, these are just lessons. These are things that I've learned along the way. They're not necessarily mistakes. They're just like, oh, wow, I didn't even know that that was possible. And so an entire platform can get shut down. Not just getting shut down, but like you go back to MySpace, which was one of the first ever social media platforms that everybody jumped onto. MySpace changed and decided that it was going to sell out and become a music platform instead. And
Wow.
so it's like that can happen at any
Yeah.
point where a platform can just decide that it's going to be a completely different business, and then they change, they adapt, they grow, they sell off, whatever. And so anything that you do not own personally, like a website, you don't own. You can own the domain, but you don't own all of the tools. You don't
Mm.
own all of the pieces that go on that. So you
Yeah.
need to save it and back it up in some kind of capacity, whether that's social media or that's, transitioning people from social media to something that you own, like their contact information, like email address and phone number, so
Yeah.
that you can either be emailing or texting. And I have a lot of clients who most of their sales come through email. I have several clients who most of their sales come through text. I have
Mm.
several clients who most of their sales come through just pitching stuff on social media, and they sell in Messenger. And it's like, so
Wow.
it's, you got to get people to a place where they can be able to connect with you. So if you have 500,000 followers or you have 1 million followers on one platform, if you tell them, hey, I'm also on LinkedIn, who's on LinkedIn? They will come and follow you on LinkedIn. If you tell them, hey, I'm also on YouTube, who else is on YouTube? They will come and follow you on YouTube. Same thing on Facebook and Instagram and any other social media platform like Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. Any other platform that's out there, people will follow you wherever you are if they are super fans of you. And so if you're building that brand in that way, people are going to follow you anywhere.
Wow. And Sierra, I have to ask this transition that before, like 5 or 6 years back, it was all in a website. People are arguing like they want to build a website and they need to have a domain and they want to promote on their websites and somehow they are finding the funnel. But right now, all focus on social medias. So the impact is highly on social medias and the spending time of average person like 10 to 15 minutes. It's depend on each and every country. But anyway, the social media is more very powerful. But how this transition happened before 6 years and right now, when you're comparing the website and social medias, what is the link right now? A business actually need a website, or they can just build a business through the social medias. How you viewing this point?
So I didn't even build my website until last year.
Wow.
So I had my business for 3 years before I decided to build a website. I hired somebody to build a website. They took several months. It still wasn't built. And I was like, okay. And I asked my husband, and then he was like, sure, I'll build it for you. And in a couple of weeks, they had a website up for me. But I actually don't make the majority of my sales through my website. The idea there is that if you build it, they will come. No, like people will go wherever you're driving traffic to. So if you drive traffic to a website, but you still have to like go find the people to drive to the website. The website, just because you have a website doesn't mean that people are going to come to it. You have
Yeah.
to do something that captures the attention.
Yeah.
It's really easy to do on social media. On social media, anyone can be famous.
True. True. So, Sierra, I have to ask one more question regarding this. If someone is starting a business in 2024 and we having AI, ChatGPT, and this AI model is keep increasing, how are you seeing the future of a business based on sales or whatever the criteria, how it will be transferred from the exact point right now we are in social media era. And I feel like in next year or maybe in 2 3 years the AI will dominate everything. So what are the changes a person can bring into the business right now?
Authenticity. AI
Hmm.
cannot, AI can't create authenticity. AI can only duplicate things that already exist.
True.
It can try, and
Yeah.
AI can only function based off of the prompts that we give it. So if you give AI a really crappy prompt, it's going to give you a really vague, generic output. If you give
Mhm.
AI a really specific prompt, which again is you having to create it with your brain, so it's not actually the AI that's creating
Yeah.
all of that. In fact, you probably could have created something and it would have been better than what the
Yeah.
AI did. The AI is just for speed. That's the only thing that
Hmm.
AI helps with. The AI actually doesn't help with quality as much as it helps with speed. And so
Hmm.
there's three different things that you can have in any offer, and that's either speed, it's a great price point of some sort, or you can have quality. And so I don't think AI really serves on the side of quality in the same way. It serves on like volume and speed. Like they can get you a higher volume and they can get it to you fast. So it's kind of like fast food versus fine dining. It's
Wow.
like, do you want the McDonald's of content, or do you want like the nice juicy steak of content?
Wow. And Sierra, I have to ask this question. When it's come to entrepreneurship and the people who are trying to come newly for entrepreneurship, the people focusing more on generations right now. Now the Gen Z is going on. The people who love to focus much, but they are not doing the things. So, what do you think about Gen Z on entrepreneurship?
Well, so I actually have five kids,
Hmm.
and I don't know the age group for Gen Z. I'm in the millennial bracket. My husband is actually in whatever the one is called right above. My brain is blinking. Right above millennials. Do you know what that one is?
No, I forgot it.
Okay,
Should be
somebody who's listening, you guys need to like
boomers, right? I think.
there we go. There we go. I was like,
Yeah.
somebody listening, you need to comment, like correct us, get this, help us get this right. So my husband is in the whatever, if it's boomers or if it's something else, he's like right above me. And I'm technically a millennial. So I don't know the age bracket for Gen Z. I do know that I have kids. One of my kids is about to turn 18 this year. And then I have two other teenagers. And looking at them, they're all very entrepreneurial.
Hmm.
Um, Remind me what your question was exactly so I can make sure to answer it the
Yeah,
way that you asked it.
yeah. When it's come to entrepreneurship, how this Gen Z people, I mean the new generation people who are born like after 1995, let's say, I'm not sure about the age group, but maybe just for an assumption, let's keep 1995 who are born as new people. And if they're trying business, how their focus should be and how these people will react, because the older people know this is the business, this is the toughest part where we find the market, how we find the customers, and where we have to build, and how we find the funnel and the capital inflow and everything. But new generation is very easier. They have everything in the fingertips. A lot of people rely on their parents actually, and some people are still focusing on AI, and they're dreaming about the future and how this a new generation will think about this marketing and the Facebook and this stuff. And actually, and I want to ask this: how is your customer base? Do you have like more people on new generation who were born like after 95, or how you viewing this criteria?
So my customer base, a lot of them are my age or like a little bit older than me. The majority of my customer base, I do have younger generation as well. Probably doesn't make up as much of my customer base, maybe like 15, 20%. And then the rest are either my age or older.
Hmm.
So that being said, on the Gen Z side or the Gen X or like whatever these younger generations are, like my teenagers are jumping onto Facebook because a lot of the people they want to connect with are on Facebook. A lot of the resources they want to use, like Facebook Marketplace and
Hmm.
groups and getting access to certain pages that it's like you have to go comment on these pages to be able to get like I don't know entered in some kind of raffle or something like that for some product that my kids love. It's like Facebook is actually doing a really great job of marketing to the younger generations as well, because you can join Facebook when you're like 13. I think that's the youngest age you can join. So they try to keep the platform very, very much above board in terms of morals or in terms of niceties and stuff like that. They also have tools in place for kids to be able to have like a messenger so that they can message their parents back and forth from their devices, like their tablets and stuff like that. So, um, like kids can join Facebook from a very young age. So kids are being like raised now using that social media platform as normal. So that's
Hmm.
normal for kids.
Yeah.
However, a lot of kids, a lot of these newer generations, they've been on things like Roblox
Yeah.
and Minecraft, and they've made friends on these platforms via the games that they played together growing up. And so kids are already being predisposed or pre-exposed to these kind of behavior patterns. So I'm sure that that'll be a big part of the future. However, nothing will ever beat in person. And honestly, when it comes to entrepreneurship, it's funny that even what we do now, how we decide to upgrade or up level our business or up level our mindset or our ability or our skill sets, it's the exact same principles that were being taught more than 100 years ago. None of
Hmm.
that has actually changed. Um, I don't want to say theology, that's not the word I'm looking for. Um, these principles, these philosophies, these theories have been around for centuries. And we continue to pass them down from generation to generation. So no matter what the tools or the resources are, I mean, we've actually discovered over time historically that, over 1,000 years ago, several thousand years ago, that some of these ancient generations had technology that was far advanced compared
Yeah.
to even some of the things that we are discovering now. And it was just lost over time, and then we rediscovered it and started using it again. And some people will look back and say like crazy stuff like, oh, it was because aliens came and brought it. No, we're really smart. It's within our capability to do great and amazing things, to envision something in our mind and then to turn that into a reality. I mean, you look at what Elon Musk is doing with Mars right now. It's like he had a vision in his mind, something that was very important to him, that he was like, if I don't do this, who will? And then he just decided to pursue it with everything that he had. So he could have just stuck with cars. He could have just
Hmm.
stuck with another business. He could have just purchased some other thing, but he didn't. He decided to pursue one of these things that he was very passionate about. And I think understanding that if these newer generations were going to do anything, I would sit down with, it's from the Japanese culture. It's called ikigai. It's
Hmm. Yeah.
Ikigai. And if they'll look at that and find their ikigai sooner rather than later, they'll start developing the skill sets in the things that they're actually very passionate about. And they'll become better and better at that. But a lot of the principles that I use to uplevel myself or uplevel my business, I'm actually pulling from people that have been dead for years, like Earl Nightingale and Napoleon Hill, who wrote Think and Grow Rich. On YouTube, you can find free access to one of his courses that it's called the 13 Keys to Success. You can go learn from these people who have been dead for a very long time, that this information was put out like 100 years ago, but you can go access it now and it is still relevant because it's the philosophies and the theories that actually help to create and effect change in the way that we actually want it, to help bring our vision into a reality.
Yeah. And Sierra, we have discussed a lot about the marketing and the finance at the same time, entrepreneurship, how the Gen X will move on the future and AI things, what will happen to TikTok actually, and how those people can transition and how the things will work in the future. And what about the business building ideas and the Facebook groups and how to find the customers and the leads, and a lot of things in this 30-35 minutes we have discussed. And we have reached the end. At final, I would like to ask one question. Sarah, for the listeners, what is your advice and where they can find you?
Okay, so one piece of advice that I love to give anybody is that you're coming up to a decision. You always are. You always have decisions laid out before you, but you're coming up to one and you feel like it's really big. In the end, it doesn't actually matter what you decide. It's not good. It's not bad. You're not making the right decision. You're not making the wrong decision. You're just making a decision. So I always tell people it doesn't matter what you decide, just make a decision and run with it. and stick to it long enough to see it come to fruition and to prove to yourself that you can do it, that you can make it through, that you can accomplish the things that you have set before you. That time frame that you need to go all in on something is typically about 90 days, not 30 days, not less than 30 days. Go after something and pursue it with all your might for 90 days and really judge whether or not you're going all in or if you're just dipping your toe in the water and you're like, I'm going to try. So it doesn't matter what you decide, just make a decision and run with it. And as far as where to find me, the best place you can go is actually my website, because I have all my social media links on there. So whatever platform works best for you, you can find me there. I am obviously very much on Facebook, but my website is cierralueck.com. That's CIERRA, last name LUECK.com. So cierralueck.com. I have several free things available on there. You can find all my social medias inside of our group right now. Sometimes my groups change. We change the name or we create a new group. But if you come find me on social media, on Facebook, I have a Facebook group and I do free trainings inside of my Facebook group. So you can go there to find those.
Yeah. And I leave the website and the description and everything under the video description. And that is Cierra Lueck. Thank you very much.
Thank you.